Hello, everyone. So in this video, we're going to look at how to find the area of different polygons. We're going to start off by finding the area of a rectangle. So remember, a rectangle is any four-sided shape that has all equal angles, these perfect right angles. And the formula we use to find the area of a rectangle is area equals length times width, L times W. We can do this by finding the length of a rectangle. This is the length, and then the width. Depending on the problem, some problems will tell you these measurements. You don't need to measure them yourself because it will already say 5 centimeters or 10 inches. But other problems, you will need a ruler and you'll need to measure it in centimeters or inches to actually find the width and the length. So let's say we took out a ruler and we measured this and we found out that this was 6 inches. And we measured this side and we found it was 10 inches. How would we find the area of the rectangle? Well, it's easy. We're just going to use the formula. What is the length? It's 10. So we'll put in 10 for L. What is the width? It's 6. So we'll put in 6 for W. And we're just doing 10 times 6 now. If you don't want to do that in your head, use a calculator. 10 times 6 equals 60. A part where a lot of people get tripped up is the units. We're multiplying something that's one-dimensional, a line segment, by another thing that's one-dimensional, another line segment, to get something that's two-dimensional. One dimension times another dimension equals 2 dimensions, so we're going to use inches squared. And we know that the area of this rectangle is 60 inches squared. And that's all it takes to find the area of a rectangle. Remember, sometimes the problem is going to give you these measurements, other times you're going to have to measure it yourself. So just make sure you read the directions carefully. Now let's look at how we would find the area of a triangle. Again, we have a formula for this. The area of a triangle equals base times height times 1/2. Some other people like to write it area equals base times height divided by 2. Both of these are always going to give you the same answer. You can use whichever one you prefer. You don't need to use both of them. Whatever one you prefer, base times height times 1/2 or base times height divided by 2. So again, you need to find the base and the height of the triangle. The base is whatever the bottom of the triangle is. And oftentimes you'll need to measure this if the problem doesn't tell you. So let's say the base of this is, I don't know, base equals 8 centimeters. Now the height is whatever distance it is from the top of the triangle straight down to the base. If you're measuring this, it's important to measure straight down, not like diagonally. You don't want to do something like this because that's not straight down to the base. You want to measure straight down so it intersects with the base in like a cross, perpendicular, we would call it. And then we would measure the height. Let's say we got 6 centimeters. Sometimes a problem will also give you the length of like this side, for example. You don't need that. If it tells you that this is 8 centimeters, that's not important to the problem. You only need the base and the height. So you can just ignore any other measurements. So we've got the base, we've got the height. Now we're going to use our formula. The base equals 8 centimeters. The height equals 6 centimeters. And 1/2, remember, is the same as 0.5. I usually write it as 0.5 because it's easier to put into a calculator. 8 times 6 equals 48 times 0.5 is going to give us 24 centimeters squared. Remember, our units are going to be squared because, again, two-dimensional. How much space does the object take up? That is the area of the triangle. Hope it's helpful. We're now going to look at one more example of a different kind of polygon that we don't have a formula for. You've seen this before, an arrow. But this strategy is going to work with any number of polygons. So whenever you have a strange polygon, you need to divide it up into rectangles and triangles because those are the things we know how to find the area of. So I'm going to draw a line segment right here, so that now we have one rectangle, which I will highlight in green, and one triangle, which I will highlight in blue. Now we just need to find the area of one and add it to the area of the other. So let's find the area of the green rectangle first. So again, sometimes the problem is going to give you these measurements. Other times you're going to need to measure them yourself. Let's say that this is 5 inches and this is 2 inches. Well, we know the area of a rectangle is equal to length times width. So I'm going to use that same strategy here because all this is a rectangle. That's going to be 5 times 2. In other words, 10 inches squared. So we know the area of this piece is 10 inches squared. But this is just the rectangle that we highlighted in green. We still need to find the area of the triangle. So we're going to need to measure parts of this. You can use whatever you want as the base. In this case, I'm going to use this as the base of the triangle, this long line segment right here. And let's say I measure that and I get that it is 4 inches. Well, if this is the base, then the height is from the top down to the base. So I need to imagine turning the triangle in my mind and looking at this segment here, because now this is the top. If the bottom is this blue line down here, the top is this point up here. So let's say I measure that and I get 2 inches. Now we're going to use the area for a triangle because this shape is a triangle. Base times height times 1/2. Well, the base is going to be 4. The height is going to be 2. And remember, 1/2 is the same as 0.5. We can do that on a calculator. 4 times 2 times 0.5 is going to give us 4 inches squared. So what this tells us is the area of this triangle in here is 4 inches squared. So now we found the area of the rectangle, we found the area of the triangle. Together, the rectangle and the triangle make up the entire thing. So all we need to do is add these two together, 10 plus 4, and we can find the area of the whole thing is 14 inches squared. You can use the strategy with any polygon. Just divide it up into rectangles and triangles. Some polygons are going to be a lot easier to do this with than others. Sometimes you may need to divide it up into 10 pieces or 12 pieces, but sometimes you only need 1 or 2 pieces. So this is really helpful. Again, if you have questions, let me know and make sure you're keeping up with those My Open Math assignments. Have a great day. Bye-bye.